Extreme 3D HQ Trivia Game Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi guys! In today's video I'm going to be showing you a design for the HQ Trivia Game app. Now HQ is something that has gotten really popular recently. I know that usually the games have well over 1 million players on them, and I'm almost always one of those players. Usually at our house we have a group of 3+ people playing HQ every single night. It's become a tradition for us. We haven't made dinner plans around HQ, which is a little crazy. Not that we've won anything. We haven't won once. We've gotten close though, but we've never won, but we have strategies. So, anyways, as I was playing one day, I was like, you know, this could make a really cool nail. You could use thermal powder to select the answer. I just thought it'd be really cute. So I decided to make one, and the question that I used is nail related. Obviously, it has to go back to nail art. So it's just what was the earliest nail art, and I kind of shrunk down my question so it's not quite grammatically correct, but it fits a lot easier and it's much easier to paint 3 words instead of 5. So I hope you guys like this, and if you play HQ, I hope you guys really got a kick out of it as much as I did. And don't forget to click subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you don't miss any of my future videos as well. So to begin with, I'm also going to be showing you this nail dust collector, and I know that a lot of people have asked me what my dust collector was, and I was using a one from Young Nails, but this one is a little bit more affordable, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below. And it's a little bit different shaped, so it fits better with my camera, which was kind of my idea there. So it's not the Young Nails one is kind of like got a point at the top, which makes my camera really wobbly, whereas this one is a little bit smoother, so the camera sits better. It comes with 3 different collection bags, and it's really padded. Like, I don't know if you guys can see how squishy that was when I was just squishing it. You see how padded that is? So it's really comfortable, and it's got a much wider space on it. Plus, it has 3 little fans underneath instead of just 1. So in general, I'm really happy with this. Plus, it seems like the bags fit really well on it, especially compared to the Young Nails one. It seems like it actually fits around there better. So I'm really happy with this. Like I said, I'll put a link to it in the description box below. A lot of people ask me about my dust collector. It's pretty quiet. It's, in general, I'm really happy with it. So if you guys are looking for a dust collector, this might be one to consider. And so it just has a switch button, an on-off button. That's really all it needs. And yeah, you might want to give this one a try. So now I'm going to be starting my nail, and I will begin with an overlay of purple acrylic. Keep this pretty thin since there is going to be more colors going on top of it. You want to make sure that you're using a clear nail so that the purple color shows through. I put the HQ logo underneath the nail, so you want the purple background to show through behind your little logo underneath. So you want the color to be able to go all the way through. So after you have your purple down, then I'm going to take some yellow acrylic and just kind of almost like a bokeh pattern, but just place down a wet little bead of these purple, berry, and teal colors, and just sort of spread them out so that they kind of fade in and out and looks like the color. The HQ, the game has like these floating shapes, and instead of doing the shapes, I just did these fading spots. I thought that was a little bit better, especially since you're not even going to see very much of it because of all of the answers and everything that's going on top of the nail. So then encase the nail with a layer of clear acrylic and kind of spread it out. Those little spots of color do make it a little bit lumpy to start with, so just take some clear acrylic. That's really going to help you smooth out the nail, and it will make it much stronger and much better off in general. So get that over, smooth that out, and then after you have that done, you're going to want to go ahead and file the nail into shape with your e-file. I am using a pretty coarse bit to start with, and I know it's really hard to review a dust collector like this and see it, but if you can tell, it is actually sucking it up pretty well. I wish the holes above the fan were a little smaller, but the one thing is my other dust collector has taken some things that I haven't wanted it to take. Rhinestones, a whole nail. I've gotten a whole nail stuck in there a couple times. I've dropped them. Things like that, whereas since I do have the smaller holes, that won't happen. So now on a nail form backing with white acrylic, I'm going to be sculpting what I'm calling the tiles of my little HQ game. So to start with, I'm going to begin with the top one that has the little countdown timer on it and the question. This is the biggest one. You want to make sure that you have plenty of space on here to write your question, but you also want it to be small enough that it doesn't look awkward on the nail, so you kind of have to find that balance. I think mine was about the perfect size, but it also depends on how small you can write and what your question is, how much space you need. So then you're going to want to make your 3 little answer tiles that go down below, and I made mine each a little bit shorter. That way when they are glued onto the nail, they kind of mimic the shape of the stiletto, so they get thinner and thinner and thinner down towards the tip. So the first one is just a little bit shorter, or a little bit yeah, I guess shorter works than the question tile, and then the one at the bottom is actually pretty short. So now I'm going to be gluing those tiles onto the nail. I started with the one that will have the question, and then and then after that I glued on the one that is this middle answer. So then I have exactly half the space between the question and the middle to glue on the next two, and then the exact same space. So they're all evenly spaced down the nail, if that makes sense. So kind of just glue them so that they are even, so that they don't look like you all of a sudden ran out of room at the tip. And then fill in underneath them with some clear acrylic. This is really important to make sure that your tiles aren't just going to pop off, and it is going to make them so much stronger. They're pretty thin at this point, so just add a little bit of acrylic, clear acrylic underneath each one. Doesn't take too much, but that extra step is super important. And then on the tile that you want to have your correct answer on, you're going to want to paint about 3/4, 2/3, 3/4 with a gel top coat that has a tacky layer, and then burnish in some teal or blue thermal powder. Just one coat should do it, and then apply matte top coat over the top of that and cure it again. So now you're going to want to paint your question. I know I missed the first part of the painting of my question when I missed writing the word nail, but my question is earliest nail art, which if you do some research on it, they know that people in China were doing nail decoration and nail tinting as early as 3000 BC, which is the earliest known nail art or nail coloring that there is. Otherwise, 3500 BC, there was some henna being used in Egypt on nails, but henna was being used everywhere, so it just kind of continued onto the nail. There's a lot of nail art way back when. So 3000 BC is the answer I'm going with. Another question that I was really thinking of doing is, when was nail lacquer invented, which is about 1925, and I just couldn't figure out how to word that question so it'd be small enough. So after make sure that you put your correct answer on the tile that has that blue on it, because you want to make sure that you are going to be having the correct answers highlighted. After you have all of your answers written on there, then I'm just going to take and make a little circle almost all the way around my countdown. I did a 3 for my countdown, so it's like 3, 2, 1 right at the end there. And then I'm going to be applying gel sealer over the background of the nail, just kind of going around the tiles. It really makes all of those spots and everything really show up and look shiny. And then apply matte gel top coat over the top of your tiles, cure that again. And now, like I mentioned, underneath the nail, I'm going to be making the HQ logo. So instead of, usually they're side by side, but because this is a stiletto and there's not all of that much room underneath, I wanted it to be very easy to see, very visible. I'm going to start and just do them vertical. So do the H above and then the Q below. So with white paint, start your H. Very easy to paint because it's just straight lines. Beneath that, make a circle for the start of your Q, and then just give it a little tail. Then fill in the lower little rectangle portion of your H, the little gap, with a berry color, very similar to the top, the colors used on the top of the nail, and then a lavender color in the top portion, and fill in the center of your Q with yellow. After you have all of that painting done and it is all dry, I had to touch up my letters with a little bit more white, then you're going to want to apply a layer of gel sealer underneath the nail, cure that, and you are all done. I really love doing this. I think it's just really fun. You could do, if you did a set of 10 nails, you could do all different questions. You could do really easy ones. They wouldn't have to be nail related. I just thought it'd be fun to make mine nail related. I hope you guys like this, and please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!